Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. We are good morning, good morning. Welcome,
Good
welcome.
morning, good morning.
Welcome, welcome. Oh, let's just pause this here. We are let's
Good
make
morning, good morning.
sure. Welcome,
Good
welcome.
morning.
All right. We are good to go. Um, yeah, I mean it's a bank holiday today. I hope no one's taking a trade. No one's trying to be a hero today. Because it's a bank holiday. See, now these were the levels I drew yesterday in the Asian session. No, before the market open, and we're still in this range. Came up, tapped into 131, 300. We're still in the range over here. Ooh, so nice. No one sent a chart. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's a bank holiday. You got your USD holiday. You got your pound holiday. So plus Ramadan is over, so we can. Yeah, there's nothing going on today. We still have 488 people here. I'm not sure if they're all loyal, that's why they're here. I think they're all loyal, that's why we're all here. We're loyal to these charts. Uh, let's do this. Alright. Yeah, basically, so what I'm going to look at now is it's a bank holiday, but still, I've been very infatuated with US 30. I mean, it's bullish. See, numbers are bullish, so its price action should be bullish.
Yo,
Oh,
good morning.
nice. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good man. What about you?
Good, good.
Nice.
Morning, boss.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I got a question to ask, Rakeel. So this is more about your risk management, right? So since you've been doing this kind of, like as it goes against you, and like when the trade goes against you, closing half, and that as you develop that, how much does that save your account by, like percentage wise? Would you say?
A lot, I would say a lot,
Uh huh.
because like let's say if your stops are like 12 pips, 15 pips, and then your winners are like also like 10, 12, maybe 15, right? And then like let's say sometimes you do get a big winners, but like when you lose and when you win, it's like the same thing, right? It's like you're breaking even or you're slightly in the loss or you're very slightly in the gain. So when you cut your losses short, then you're basically your losses are getting smaller, right? Because you're cutting them short. And once your losses get smaller, your wins stay the same, but they look bigger because obviously the losses are smaller now, so the wins are more, wins are
Right.
bigger.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
because I've read, to be honest, reading studying wise, I've probably read like most strategies and pretty much most trading styles and bits and bobs. But actually, only it was only your with you actually where I learned the kind of risk management aspect, which I don't think is out anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's not written in any book. It's not written in any trading strategy or anything like this to nullify the losses. And that you must have developed that on your own kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I would look at things and then I would say, okay, so how can I make these smaller? Or
Uh-huh.
how can I stop taking losses? Because I mean, that's the thing, when you start, you just keep on you take a lot of losses, right? So then, I mean, I don't think many people look to see how could I have lowered this loss or how could I have taken the opposite trade. I mean, I just found this to be very logical. I mean, like that was the only thing because if my win rate, if my number of wins weren't increasing, right, then I had to reduce losses.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, right. And one way to do that was to maybe take less trades, like 1 to 2 trades a day, or if I start going in a loss, maybe like get out early, right, just to make sure I don't take the full loss. So I think that was one of the key things.
Yeah, I mean, I think I found was that um, even with my losses now, because my losses are so small, um, it affects you mentally then less as well on your next trade. And so if I'm I mean I'm only trading, so 1 or 2 trades, And even though I made, I think it was 2 or 3 days where I made a loss. They were so small, and I found statistically when I look back, when I made one loss, and the day that I made 2, 3 losses, because normally I would have taken 4 or 5 trades. If I started making a loss, say 2 losses, I just pull back. So that's helped me in that way. And then also doing the kind of strategy with trying to preempt the losses and then closing the positions down has reduced it even more. You see, so my losing days would have been 4 or 5 losing trades. And I've sort of reduced it that way with less losing trades. And then on top of that, um, I've sort of I've sort of managed that number as well. So maybe it would have been $200, $300. I've sort of pushed it down to say something like around 130, 140.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, exactly. That's good. Ooh, what's this? David Lean sent a chart on a bank holiday. Let's take a look here. Bank holiday charting. We're doing a bank holiday. Yeah, this is a bad trade, 100%. This is, even though it's in a range, first of all, you're taking a trade in the range. So if you look on the 1 hour, this is a trade in the range. Now, if you were to take a trade in the range from up over here, you would have a better chance of taking a sell. If you would have taken a trade right over here, you had a better chance of taking a buy, right? Because like we're in the range and we're at resistance and support. But if you take a range, like a trade in the middle over here, now you have a 50-50 chance of going either up or going down. Especially now when this candle closed with no wick at the bottom, this has an even lower chance to go down. So not trading this, but hypothetically after seeing 30-minute close, would you take this trade? No, man, absolutely not. See, I didn't even read the text because I saw the chart and I saw how garbage this trade is gonna be, and didn't even bother reading. I just read it. So I mean, you can't trade in a range. Like, I'm sorry if this sounds hurtful or mean, but like I'm trying to guide you in the right direction. You can't. This is a no trade in this range at all. So I mean, it's gonna get pretty hard because if you look on the 1 hour now, 1 hour is kind of like retracing. Maybe a good trade is gonna be below over here, because Asian broke above 131 and then it came down and just kind of rejected here again. So I mean, if price now breaks below 131, then you could say, okay, you know what? The Asian session broke above it. London tapped into it. So now maybe we're gonna go continue down. So right now there's like no trade. It gets very risky to trade in there. Sometimes accidentally you do get that trade, right? Let's say you take this trade and it does go down, right? And accidentally you still win trades. But when you win trades accidentally, you think it's going to happen over and over again. So that's where discipline comes in, because during the day I can see a lot of setups. I can see a lot of like moves I can take, but I have to stay loyal to the discipline. See, if you look at US 30 right now, the futures were up over here. So this is going to be like a good walk on US 30 here, basically. So see, they're up by like 200 points, right? So if they're up by like 200 points, now you're just looking at this. So I think if the 1 hour closes here, and if the next 1 hour breaks the high, it should continue moving up. I haven't looked at US 30 during the bank holiday, so I'm not sure how it's going to act. This is my first time. Did you enter after the close of the first 15 minutes? First 15 minutes. I don't really remember my trade from Friday. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's so peaceful today. It's honestly very, very peaceful today. There's like nothing going on. Was breakout after the scream ended. Let's see here. Because I don't remember my trades. Oh, were those trades in one of the ranges? 139.70. 139.70. Oh yes, yes, that was the breakout. That was this one right over here. Once candles started to break, right here, this was it right here. Like when this candle started to break the high of this candle here, that's where I looked to enter. Came up, this kind of came down, kind of like went close to it but stayed in, and then this is where I missed my TP right over here when price came up here. So I think it closed somewhere like 220, 240. This is one of the best channels for Forex, but oh, nice. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, probably by like YouTube. YouTube may make me a millionaire by sending me monthly payments, so that's pretty good. Shout out to YouTube. Yeah, so for US 30 to continue moving bullish, it needs to break above this area here. This is going to be an important area for it to break above. Because if it breaks above this area, then, like, you know, there's a very high chance price may continue up to 24,800. You know, even though this is a bank holiday, you know, so I've never seen US 30 on a bank holiday. This is my first time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Mr. Raja, can you please explain how you draw zones? Yeah, it's pretty easy. Like, you know, you go to the, let's start with the 4 hour. So you remove everything. So you go to the 4 hour, and then on a 4 hour, you see that, oh, okay, well, maybe right now what it seems like is the candle is going bearish. So maybe it's going bearish from a resistance, you know, like an area on the chart that may reject price. So then you're like, okay, perfect. So that's our resistance, and it matches up all the way to the left. So it's like, oh, okay, awesome. And then you're like looking at the 4 hour, and now you're like, okay, well, on the 4 hour, we have to draw support, right? And the best area to draw support is going to be in like a spot where you see price going up. So price started heading up from this area down over here. I'd say right over here, you know, because that's where we had the wicks. All these wicks, rejections. Now, obviously, there's another support down over here, which we're going to see on the 1 hour chart. And actually, it does line up. So this is where you have your support in the middle of this range, right? And then when you measure this is a 26 pip range, and this is a 26 pip range as well. Now, ranges are very important. Ranges are important because when you have bank holidays, then you know where price is going to range in, right? When there's no volume in the market, or like, you know, like right like in the afternoon times, you'll see that there's going to be like smaller ranges, which is going to mean that, hey, like, you know, maybe price is going to start ranging now. So if you look on, if we look at let's look at USDJPY. So if you look at USDJPY, now here on the 1 hour, what you see is like, okay, well, maybe we have a support down over here around 107.640. So if you have a support at 107.640, and then if this is your resistance, let's say up over here, right? Now this is a like a 12 pip range, you know? What are you going to do in a 12 pip range? So if someone trades UJ over here, you want this thing to break above 107.750 or break below 107.630. Even if it does break below 107.630, look at the next range. This range is, come on, man, cooperate with me. Trading view not cooperating. It's like 8 pips away. You know, this is nothing. So you need bigger ranges to trade. So it's now at the same time, if you look at GPJPY, you'll see that this range is 23 pips, you know, or maybe 25 pips. So now you guys say, okay, well, like, you know, which range is better for me to trade? A bigger range or like a smaller range? right? So in the same way, if you look on the 4 hour or the daily, like the higher time frame you go, the bigger range is what you're going to see. So now on the daily, you have support down here at 13800, and then you have a resistance up here at 131,900, right? Because that's where the candle closed. So now if you measure this range, this is going to be a much bigger range. This is a 116 pip range, right? So when you're looking for trades, you're looking for like a bigger range to trade, because the bigger range you have, better opportunities that what you're going to have to, like, have a profitable trade. But for trade to move, you need volume, right? You need volume for the trade to move. You need volume for big juicy candles, because these big candles are your trades. These big candles, because if you look at the 5 minute candle, or even down, if you look at the 1 minute candles, or if you get down and look at the 5 second candles, what you're going to find is that every candle moving, let's look at the 1 minute candle. Every candle moving is like billions of dollars moving in every candle. Billions of dollars moving in every candle. So if you can look at the 30-minute candle, or if you can look at the 1 hour candle and say to yourself, okay, like, you know what? All I got to do is to trade the 1 hour candle, or all I have to do is to trade the 30-minute candle. If I can correctly predict where the next 30-minute candle is going to go, that's going to be my trade. And if I'm looking at something like GJ, and you're like, okay, well, like an average 30-minute candle or GPJPY, let's measure this one here. It's a little bigger in this range. It's like 12 pips, right? So these are like high volume candles. So these are like a 12 pip candle. So what if I can grab these 12, 13 pips, right? What if I can grab one 30-minute candle every day for the rest 5 years, 4 years, 6 years? And don't you think you're going to get better at that? Just by focusing on grabbing one 30-minute candle, or one 4 hour candle. That's it. And then slowly your lot size obviously then they increase with confidence. Like more you see certain things, the more inclined you are to increasing your risk. So those things, they play a big role there. How do we adjust magic key settings for US30, for instance? I don't know, man. I haven't used magic keys for US30 at all, so you have to figure that out in terms of pips. Do you ever feel under pressure knowing that many viewers are watching you trade? Yeah, I used to get that pressure in the beginning, like when I'd take like 5 trades, 6 trades. But now there's no pressure. Now it's just like every day I'm here, and if this was a regular day, I'd be waiting for this range to break, basically. For price to break above 131,300, and to continue on to maybe 131,550. 550 or 450, or maybe like 131,700. That'd be cool. But it's a bank holiday, so it gets pretty hard. I'm specifically looking at the US30, because I want to see how it's going to act here on the bank holiday, because the futures are good, they're positive, so this should be breaking above here and continuing to 24,800, which is what, like 100 points away, right? So I know US30 is going to give 100 points every day. Every day it's going to give at least 100 points, and you have to be there to get that candle. So now you're like, okay, well, perfect. If this is going to go up towards 24,800, I got to figure out where my stop loss is going to be. Then you're like, okay, well, let's measure this candle. This is a 30-minute candle, and if I can have a stop loss at like 60 points, I know that 10 cent lot on 60 points is $60. So if you have $1,000 account, or like a $2,000 account, I think risking that much is pretty good. It's really good. Um, yeah, it's really good. And then you're like, okay, well, risking that, I want to make $100, because if price goes up here, you make $100. Raja, Euro USD has been in a downtrend. Do you think it will go bullish? Someone mentioned that they're in a Euro USD buy. I mean, why? Do you think that the euro is going to move Euro USD? Because USD is off today. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Yeah, we're ranging. We are in a range. range. So this is a range, right? Yeah, see, that's a range. You have a 1 hour range here. So this is a 20 pip range. Yeah, it's just gonna range. Just wait. Why don't you guys want to wait? Wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be volume. Tomorrow's going to be volume. My trading history looks empty today. There's nothing. I haven't done anything today. I have just started trading with a £100. What do you think I should trade on? Yeah, I think trade. You can trade GPJPY or GPUSD, or like just choose a pair you think you connect well with, because when you know a pair that you can connect well with, then you start to get comfortable with that pair. Like GPJPY here. Now with GJ, I connect like I connect a lot. Like me and GJ are like this. I like together. So I'm very comfortable trading GPJPY. So you gotta put in the time. And when people say you gotta put in the time, that basically means you have to really sit and watch something for a long time. Like for US 30, I've been watching US 30 for the last month. Maybe I've taken maybe like 2 trades on US 30. I've won one, and the one I've lost. You know, so I've been watching it for a month. This is not easy to trade. So that's putting the time, right? I'm putting the time in this pair just by watching it at certain times of the day. And I know it has some similarities. At the same time, every day I've noticed that there's always a push. Sometimes it comes before New York Open, or sometimes it comes closer to like 9 a.m. So I really want to see like what the sweet spot is for US 30, so that it's going to be good.
Hey Raja, also I think when you put the time in the charts, it's also studying like what the fundamentals are that move it, as well as the numbers on the charts themselves.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what
true.
you've been doing with US 30. And the thing with being an amateur doing it is that it has that volatility, and we're in a year with a potential election, and we could have Trump say something and this thing pop, of 500-600 pips one direction, and he's going to try to keep this thing up. So there's heavy manipulation. So for beginners, I think they've got to be super careful with, especially with US 30 even more.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's pretty fast. Someone sent this chart, and my response was, this is a garbage chart, because one, it's a bank holiday today, and so we can't say if it wasn't a bank holiday. That's not the case. And two, you've created a range within a range, so that's even more worse. That tells me, those things introduce overtrading. When you have a range and you break that range down into another range, so basically you created another range in over here. And if you measure it, it's 10 pips away. It's in the middle of a range. It goes against everything we talked about here today. Man, you guys really gotta stop overtrading. I know people are in trades right now because they think they'll make. Trust me, man, you're not gonna make thousands of dollars today. Trust me on that. If someone's in a trade and they're thinking they'll make thousands and thousands of dollars and reduce their debt they have, no, it's not gonna happen. Or pay back the people they owe money to, no, it's not gonna happen today. Today's gonna be it could be a pretty slow, sad day. What I'm watching today is US 30. Looking to see if it goes up or not. UJ 30-minute chart. Do you think if banks were not closed? See, now this is the thing. When you start looking at the charts, right? And you're like, okay, imagine if the banks were not closed today. Will I take this trade? This same exact thing, it may happen the next time, but the volume could be completely different. So you're saying, what if the banks were open? It doesn't make any sense, because banks aren't open, they're closed. There are a lot of variables at play. It's not like only the banks are moving stuff. It's like people who are in your financial institutions, that they're moving stuff too. Like they're processing orders, like hedge funds, they're processing orders too. So those things move things as well. So even if the banks were open, I mean, there would be a lot of other variables at play as well. So these hypothetical questions, I think they're good questions, but if you measure the range here, this is like what, 107, 690 up till 107, 750. Man, that's like a 6 pip range, you know, so that's a trade in 6 pip range is a it's a bad trade to begin with. Yeah, the movements are completely different today. So you'll see like a lot of consolidation, you know, low volume, small candles.
Also, with that 6 pip range, you've got 6 pips of noise, which is normal each way. So whichever way you take that trade, right?
Hmm.
So you're just going to be fluttering around in there within just the noise of the system.
Yeah, it's just nothing at all. Today is a good day to set some BE for tomorrow movements. Yes. Or what we can do is an observance of Memorial Day. Yeah. It's also a long weekend. Oh, someone got 200 pips today. Beautiful. Jawao Gamer. Alright, what's this? Looking for buys. If price breaks current support. My bias will be bearish, looking for entries. If price breaks support, I'll find entries. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. I mean, if you get it right above here, then yeah, looks good to go up. How do you trade based on the news? Well, you don't trade based on the news. You know, if you have news, if you know news is gonna happen in 30 minutes, you stay away. So you don't trade based on the news. Paper trading, yeah, again, you know, I mean, these are trades in the range. Man, people don't listen, man. Alright, I'm gonna head off. You know, it's gonna be a ranging day today. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think tomorrow morning.
Hi, brother.
All right, bro.
Yeah, take care, guys. Have
Get
fun.
the voice on.
Okay, Roger.